Hey everyone, Genome here. Come back to the next episode in my Star Trek The Next Generation review series. In this episode, I'm going to be reviewing The Last Outpost. I kind of got the last two episodes out of order. It's just weird what the DVD said. I did it on accident, but it doesn't really matter. They're all kind of standalone at this point. So, in this one, I'm going to take a look back at some of the failings of the first season and some of the things that they tried to do well and sometimes did. So with that rather inauspicious introduction, let's go ahead and get into it. So quick overview of the show, and then I'll give you my rating toward the end. So in this episode, we find out that we're finally going to meet the Ferengi. The Ferengi are going to be the new villains of the Star Trek universe, right? So the Enterprise is in hot pursuit of this Ferengi vessel that stole a piece of technology from one of their star bases.
Pursuit of a starship of Ferengi design. Our mission is to intercept and recover a T9 energy converter which the Ferengi stole from an unmanned monitor post on Gamma Tauri 4.
So finally they catch up to him around a mysterious planet in an uncharted solar system. Boy, this sounds awful lot like the original series, doesn't it? And they proceed to basically threaten the Ferengi ship, and then the Ferengi ship scans them.
Showing another power surge, sir.
They are firing on us.
Damage aboard.
Shields open.
Mostly electromagnetic.
Come to find out later, it's not them, and all of a sudden the Enterprise is completely incapacitated. And well, they keep waiting for the Ferengi to either destroy them or take the ship or demand something, and they hear nothing. So, one of the big failings of this episode, we spend like the next 20 minutes of them staring at the view screen, trying to figure out why the Ferengi are attacking, and they're not doing anything. No one does anything here.
And a sudden abrupt.
And eventually, they do find out that the problem is probably not the Ferengi ship, but it's something from the planet, all right? And the Ferengi are helpless too. So Picard does his best poker player imitation here, and basically semi-threatens the Ferengi, and they agree to surrender to him, right?
The ugliness of the Uman was not an exaggeration. I do not know how your twisted alien culture has paralyzed our vessel, but I concede your Enterprise is superior.
Well, stuff happens. Basically, the batteries and all the power is being drained for the Enterprise, despite a few escape attempts, not attacks. This is all coming from the planet.
I see where you're going. We shoot down, then kick hard into warp 9. Yeah, come back, fight. Woo-wee.
So the Ferengi figure out what's going on. They get justifiably pissed at Picard for trying to deceive them, and they decide to join forces, meet on the planet, and figure out what the heck is going on. This is going to be a one-way trip because they're not going to have energy to beam back up. This is another recurring theme.
This power drain, we may have trouble communicating with the Enterprise, sir. Understood. Anything else? Due to this force field, there is presently no way to beam us back, sir.
Oh, you had to ask.
Among Star Trek in general, not just the first season, right? So they all get down there, and immediately they're double-crossed by the Ferengi. They have these ridiculous whip phaser disruptor thingies that they whoosh.
Who are you?
and completely incapacitate the Enterprise crew, then leave them laying on the ground. Long story short, the Federation guys get the upper hand thanks to Tasha, and then a gigantic voice is heard booming in the distance, and it's someone we find out to be called the Gatekeeper.
A guardian of the Tkon Empire!
The Gatekeeper is basically an automated, we never really find out what he is, automated response from like an outpost of a long dead empire.
Resolving it into our language. The center of a huge space federation. A population of trillions.
The Tkon Empire has been dead for like 100,000 years or more, whatever.
I've never heard the word Tkon before.
Understandable. It has been extinct for 600,000 of our years.
How Starfleet knows this, we'll have no idea, but whatever. So he manifests himself into an old-looking man, like kind of like a river Styx keeper, you know, with the staff and all that, and the hood. And he has this ridiculous hair when he takes the hood off. But
barbarians all, but this one first.
So basically, he starts questioning them on what they're doing there, and you know, kind of low-key threatening them. And then the Ferengi, of course, turn on the Federation people and say, you know, they were the aggressors, they were the attackers, blaming them for all the ills of the universe.
They came to loot your empire, but we intercepted them.
And the Gatekeeper tests, basically Riker. He tests him because he's already downloaded the databanks of the Enterprise, so he kind of has some inkling of human knowledge now. And so he put the test to Riker, and Riker figures it out.
You are facing fate with composure.
And doesn't fall prey to fear, and that's all I'll say about that. And passes the test. And, you know, after that, it's basically happy ever after. Riker talks with the Gatekeeper for a while.
The universe exists to me to create life. I shall sleep.
Enterprise is rejuvenated with power again. They're released, and Riker even goes to bat for the Ferengi, who are still trying to betray them, and has the Gatekeeper release them as well. And then the Gatekeeper fades off into the sunset to keep sleeping until someone else moseys along there. So everyone basically goes their separate ways, and I don't know if I remember if they even get back to the piece of equipment the Ferengi stole, but basically story is over. So that's the Last Outpost. Yeah, this movie, or this episode, is a real slog. And while there is a little bit of tension built up with the spaceship chase and all that, and you expect a battle to happen, the battle never happens. And that doesn't have to happen, but it's like 20 minutes of them trying to figure out what the Ferengi are doing to them. I mean, it wasn't the Ferengi at all.
Incredible.
There's our mysterious something, Captain. It is a force field of some kind.
Reaching up from the planet's surface. Amazing power.
It's just, you know, lots of staff meetings has happened a lot in the earlier Next Generation series. You got some very unbelievable stuff on the ship, like when the power's going and the batteries are being drained, they can't keep life support going right, it's getting cold in there. It's like, does no ship in the Federation have even a spacesuit? It's like they never seem to have them. They have no way to keep warm, but they're all sitting around in just their regular street clothes and uniforms. They're not trying to bundle up. They have no coats. Do they replicate these things as needed? And that's why they can't do it when its power's out? It doesn't seem like a very good idea to me. As a contingency planner myself, I don't know. Seems pretty weak for spacefarers, right? There's a lot of, like, over-the-topness in this.
I want a slow reversing to drop off over 5 minutes. We'll show him what this baby can do, sir.
Give me everything you got, LaForge!
Aye, sir.
Right. There's the famous scene here where Riker's out there. Anybody!
Anybody!
And, you know, it's just... There is a pretty funny scene later on when Picard and Crusher trade barbs on on a little bit of feminist ideology there.
He has the right to meet death awake.
Is that a male perspective?
Rubbish.
But other than that, there's not a lot to be said for this. The Gatekeeper looks ridiculous.
That's it! Your Majesty, you look like the piss boy! And you look like a bucket of shit!
He looks like just an old dude, sort of, with gigantic 80s boofed up hair, and he's all shiny looking. It just doesn't look cool. It still never explains why he traps these guys. What for? He was asleep, right? So why did he trap? I guess maybe it was automated, but what was the point of it? I still don't know why he was there, what he was supposed to be doing. It's never really gone into. It's good to see the Ferengi finally, and they look pretty good as far as costumes, except for they're wearing furs and stuff in this, so it makes them look barbaric when they're supposed to be as technologically as advanced as the Federation are.
Very impressive design.
Anything on that design, Data? Nothing specific, sir. As you know, Ferengi technology is estimated to be generally equal to our own.
So that looks kind of strange, and their weapons are completely ridiculous, those stupid whips, which aren't seen again, I don't believe, so that's a plus. But, yeah, it's just a lot to be said for this episode. It's the first season, but at least there's some space stuff going on, I guess. There's more than some of the other ones we'll be watching here further on. So, yeah, this one's kind of bad. It's, I mean, you can watch it for 40 minutes. It's not a total waste of time. It's just that nothing really important happens here. There's no real character building other than maybe Picard once again. I think, is this the episode where he goes off a little bit about France's flag? It may not be this one, it might be a different one.
Red, white, and blue for the United States. Whereas French, more properly, used the same colors in the order blue, white, and red.
But that one's kind of funny.
You worthless piece of Euro trash.
And you also see Beverly completely babying Wesley again by putting him away in his room while everyone's dying. I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. They're supposed to be in the warm area. Why did she stick him in the quarters to die alone? So, yeah, whatever. Not the greatest episode in the world, but I guess worth a watch for the completionist. But like I said, first season, so expect nothing less. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There'll be more of these reviews coming up in the near future. And until the next time, this is Genome. Just hoping the Gatekeeper doesn't, lock him down permanently. Out.